I recently spent a fortnight on Britannia and had the opportunity to try the various restaurants. In this video, I'll cover the highs and lows of dining on board. You'll see the restaurants, food and menus. I'll start with the included restaurants and then move on to the speciality ones. Meridian is one of 3 main dining rooms on board and is located behind the atrium on deck 5 midship. Peninsula is directly above on deck 6. Between them they serve breakfast, lunch and dinner, but these are freedom dining restaurants where you either show up when you want and potentially queue, or you pre-book on the My Holiday app. Oriental is located on deck 6 aft and serves breakfast, but for dinner has fixed dining times at 6:30 and 8:30. Now we were in this restaurant, and although you can't show up when you want, you have the benefit of just going straight to your table each evening and getting to know your waiting staff. Breakfast in the main dining rooms was generally fine and of a consistent standard to other P&O ships. Service was also usually fine, although occasionally it could get a little tricky. For instance, we'd be brought toast quickly but not get any butter until halfway through the meal, despite asking. It's the usual P&O breakfast menu, and what I had here is the P&O Cruises breakfast at the top of the menu. Lunch is served in either the Meridian or Peninsula restaurants. This is a gammon steak with parsley sauce and mashed potato, and I enjoyed it. The menu changes each day, and I tried other mains like beef steak with potato wedges and pastas, and they were all quite enjoyable, as were the desserts. I didn't film any others, but I was always pleasantly surprised by the lunches. The menu may be pretty simple, but it's all nice enough. Afternoon tea is served at 3:30 once a week on a sea day, usually in the Meridian restaurant. It feels like a top secret event though, as they don't really promote it. If you want to go, then you need to carefully check the restaurant opening times in the Horizon Daily Planner on each sea day to find out when it's actually happening. There's no extra charge for this. Personally, I thought it was nice enough, and so we went on both occasions. For dinner, I always enjoy a duck liver parfait, but this one was only okay, so I hoped things would improve on the main course. So I then went on to have the pork belly as a main, but again, it was just okay. And this is the chicken, which I'm told was a 6 out of 10. But the next night was a different story. I started with the terrine of chicken, chorizo and ham, and it was all quite nice. For the main, I had slow cooked beef rump, which was equally good. The pan fried breast of chicken was also apparently good. But this inconsistency pretty much sums up the experience of dinner in the main dining room, because it was always alternating between fairly good and very average. Formal nights are similar, except you get an amuse-bouche and chocolates after dinner. The service was always generally fine with no overly long waits. I should mention too that it's quite clear when you stop and watch what the waiters are doing, that they are working to the max non-stop. Here you also have a formal night menu. And the Horizon Buffet is located up on deck 16 and is open from the early hours until well past midnight. Breakfast was usually available until 11 AM and serves everything you'd expect. But as with so many ship buffets, it can get busy, so I tended to prefer having breakfast in the main dining room, although the breakfast in Horizon is generally okay. Breakfast is also the only time of day that you can get more than just water for free. Here you also get a smoothie as well as orange juice, pineapple and apple juice. Lunch offers a reasonable selection of choices. My experience here was that you need to try a lot of different things because some of them are disappointing and some of them are totally fine. It really is a mixed bag. these desserts were a really mixed bag. I thought some of them were fine, but some of them were a real letdown, so you've got to just keep trying until you find a winner. The dinner selection is not dissimilar to lunch, but they often have themed menus such as Indian night. So the basics are always available, but there's also a selection of a particular style of cuisine. Now I can't really comment on the salads or anything remotely healthy that they serve, as for some reason I always walk straight by this stuff. Yep, never tried any of this. Now some of the carved meats were nice enough, but equally some were pretty disappointing. Potatoes were generally okay though. Next up is the Lido Grill by the main pool. This is open from 11 to 7 and you'll be able to get burgers and hot dogs along with certain other options from time to time. They were always freshly made and I found the burgers and hot dogs to be fine, as were the fries. It's nothing to get excited about, but it's a good option for a quick meal. And just along from that there's the pizza station that usually offers 3 types, but I couldn't tell you what these were like, I didn't try them. Moving on to the paid speciality restaurants, I'll begin with the Epicurean on deck 16, which serves afternoon tea at £17 and dinner at £30 per person. I didn't try afternoon tea this time, but I had dinner here and was interested to see how it compared with a recent cruise I took on Arvia. So I started with the Iberico ham, which was nice, as was the bread, although a couple of slices didn't seem all that fresh, but the soup got a thumbs up. For the main I had the pork T-bone with sides of thick cut chips and broccoli. I'd give this pork an 8 out of 10 as it was tasty enough but unfortunately a bit tough and dry, but the chips and broccoli were good. The black Angus sirloin steak got an 8 out of 10 also. I didn't film the desserts, they were pretty decent and the service throughout was totally fine, but overall I thought the meal wasn't quite up to the same standards I had on Arvia, but I'm probably nitpicking at this point. The beach house is on deck 16 aft and is part of the Horizon buffet seating area in the evening. It has a $7.50 cover charge per person. I started with the sea salt pork crackling, which comes with applesauce, chicken gravy and honey and mustard dip, and it was all good. Next I had the sticky fried chicken breast with fries, which was all very good. There was literally no letdown on that plate. The double decker burger also got a rave review, with everything on there making a good choice. The chocolate and vanilla candy shop cheesecake was nice, although probably didn't quite live up to the starter and main. The same was true for the chocolate fudge cake. Now we were so pleased with the beach house that we went back, and again the food was excellent. The only difference was that on the first visit we had flawless attentive service and the second visit was quite a bit slower, but this is a great dining option overall. The glass house is on the top level of the atrium and it's a nice looking venue, so I was looking forward to eating in here, especially after having such a good experience in Arvia's glass house prior to this cruise. I opted for 3 of the mini selections for $6.95. The chicken liver parfait was disappointing and quite tasteless, and I wasn't too keen on the rye crisp bread. The popcorn chicken was okay, but had too many dark pieces of meat, which I never like in chicken. The oxtail bonbons were the best part and probably a 7 out of 10. On the upside, service was fine throughout. Now you couldn't call it a restaurant, but the Market Cafe down in the atrium is an alternative option for getting ice cream and some cakes. Some of them were quite nice, I tried a couple, although I'm not sure it's worth it when you've got the option of the buffet or of course the dining rooms. Well, that's it for this review. If you've got any questions, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.